Welcome to Swiftly Explained, and today we're going to recap everything Taylor Swift talked about in her new interview with New York Times. The full 30 minutes interview is posted on my Patreon page. The link is in description. The interview starts with her talking about songwriting. Even after years of writing songs, starting them, finishing them, rewriting them, pulling inspiration from life, books, movies, and even mythology, she says it still feels like a mystery.
It's still such a mystery to me, and they never quite happen exactly the same way, and I still don't quite understand how it works.
From the very start, Taylor talks about emotions specifically.
When you're young, you feel things on such a detailed.
She believes that between the ages of
17 to 22 years, you spend all day thinking about it. You notice everything. You notice candle ash on the cuff of the shirt.
And for her, that level of detail became the foundation of her songwriting.
And I've always tried to, without being a completely unhinged adult, keep that level of detail and trying to describe a feeling.
But this didn't just start randomly. Taylor began writing songs at just 12 years old. The moment she picked up an instrument and started singing, songwriting immediately became the center of her life. And early on, she fell in love with a very specific style storytelling. Country and folk music, in particular, shaped how she saw songs.
I started writing songs when I was 12 that I fell in love with. I think folk and country, that story time structure.
She describes them almost like mini movies. A young girl learns something, she grows up, she realizes the lesson meant something deeper, and then maybe one day she passes it on.
Little girl, learns a lesson, and the little girl grows up and now she's a teenager. Then the bridge, maybe she goes on in her life. She has a little girl, she imparts that wisdom onto her.
That structure fascinated her.
So that was the first thing that made me think it's gotta be country music.
But at the same time, she was also deeply influenced by something very different, emo music. Bands like Dashboard Confessional and Fall Out Boy completely changed how she saw lyrics.
I was the most intensely impacted by emo music, how they take a common phrase and then they just twist the knife of it.
Those kinds of lyrics would hit her so hard that she'd literally stop and think. By the time she was 14, Taylor had already signed a publishing deal. But instead of immediately letting other artists record her songs, she made a bold decision. She asked for time. Time to prove that she could become an artist herself. She would go to school during the day. Then her mom would drive her to Nashville, where she'd walk into songwriting sessions with complete strangers.
It was like, just give me some time to try to get a record deal. I'm gonna try so hard. Then my mom would drive me downtown. I would go and I'd have a songwriting session with someone that I'd never met before.
She'd show up with multiple nearly finished songs, half-written ideas, and a long list of hooks just to prove she belonged there, because she didn't want to be seen as that kid who thought she could just walk in and succeed.
4 to 5 nearly finished things, 10 hooks.
As she grew as a writer, she started experimenting with storytelling in new ways. One technique she loved? Breaking the fourth wall, writing songs that acknowledge themselves as songs.
Tradition of sort of breaking the fourth wall. And I did that in a song called Tim McGraw. In the bridge, it's revealed that I wrote this song and I hope he hears it.
Or Our Song, where the story ends with her literally writing the song itself.
The song Our Song, it's all about this romance and this relationship. And then in the end, it says, grabbed a pen and an old napkin and I wrote down our song. The kind of just and it was me.
It became one of her signature twists, those little moments where the story folds in on itself. And then there's what she considers one of her favorite twists ever, the Last Great American Dynasty, a song that tells the story of a rebellious woman from history, only to reveal at the very end that Taylor herself is now part of that story.
Of women with madness, their men and bad habits, and then it was bought by me. I wanted my grin to go from here to here, but that looks crazy.
It's the kind of twist that she says still makes her smile every time she performs it. But songwriting, for her, has never been about predicting success. She openly admits she has no idea what people will like. Sometimes songs she loves don't connect immediately, until years later.
When I love it to a certain degree, that kind of tends to match up with people.
She even mentions her Reputation album, something she was incredibly proud of, even when reactions were mixed, and eventually people came around.
I loved the Reputation album. You can come around if you want. It's okay if you don't. Ready for it. People slept on that song.
That mindset actually started earlier than you might expect. At 17, she wrote Love Story, not as a calculated hit, but out of frustration, she wasn't allowed to date someone, so naturally, she wrote a song about it.
I think the first time I felt like, I don't care if people hate this because I love it so much, was when I wrote the song Love Story.
And as she jokes, this is exactly why parents need to discipline their kids. because otherwise they might go write a #1 hit about you.
Mad at my parents because they wouldn't let me go on a date with a guy who was too old, so I shouldn't have been on a date with him anyway. And this is why you need to discipline your kids, because they might write songs that go #1.
Then came a major turning point. Speak Now. After the massive success of Fearless, there was growing criticism questions about whether she truly deserved that success. So she responded in the most Taylor Swift way possible. She wrote an entire album, completely on her own, no co-writers.
When I wrote Speak Now, I was 18 and 19. The first time there was like this big debate over whether I deserved to be there.
It was her way of proving that she could stand on her own as a songwriter.
No, it wasn't my co-writers that did all this work. Yes, I am the author of this entire body of work that I was very proud of.
Over time, her process evolved. She started trusting her instincts more, recording ideas constantly because inspiration doesn't wait. Sometimes it comes fast.
I'd written so many songs alone, and I love collaboration. I love co-writers, but it's not something that I needed. I'll have this stream of consciousness pouring out.
So she captures everything, melodies, lyrics, ideas, before they disappear. She also became incredibly detail-oriented with language.
I love, two words that start with the same letter. Love that.
She loves alliteration. She avoids certain word combinations that don't flow right.
I don't like to have a word end with the same letter that the next word starts with when you're on the phone and you talk real low. But I don't like the real low, so it's turned into when you talk real slow.
And she enjoys taking familiar phrases and reinventing them, mixing modern language with timeless ideas. For her, songwriting is as much about sound as it is about
I
meaning.
love the combination of modern vernacular or classic timeless speak.
One of the most important parts of a song, in her view, is the bridge. She describes it like stepping back from a painting. The verses build the picture. The chorus captures the feeling.
And I don't have social media on my phone. Like, it looks like I'm just endlessly scrolling, but I'm scrolling through the words in my file.
But the bridge, that's where you finally understand what the whole thing means. It's the emotional turning point. And sometimes that turning point becomes something even bigger, like what she calls a rant bridge.
The bridge can be where you zoom back, you walk 20 feet back, and you see what this entire painting was supposed to be.
A moment where everything spills out. Unfiltered thoughts, raw emotion, almost like a stream of consciousness. Songs like Out of the Woods use this technique.
The rant bridge. I could point to examples like Out of the Woods, Is It Over Now, Cruel Summer. It's basically like stream of consciousness, endless pouring out of emotion.
She tells a story about being in a car with Travis Kelce talking about Elizabeth Taylor, when suddenly a melody hits her out of nowhere.
I'm riding in the car with Travis. I go on and explaining to Travis like why I love Elizabeth Taylor. We get home, he gets out of the car, and I'm just in my head, I'm like, this intrusive melody of Elizabeth Taylor. I'm just like scrambling my record app on my phone.
And just like that, a song begins. Other times it starts with a track from a collaborator, or a random idea in a writing session, and that's part of the mystery she talked about at the very beginning.
That's like one of those spontaneous places where it floats down like a cloud in front of you and all you have to do is grab it.
Even something as iconic as All Too Well didn't start as a polished song. It started as a rambling, emotional outburst during a rehearsal, over 10 minutes long. But someone recorded it, and that recording became the foundation for one of her most beloved songs.
Very emotional rant, more than 10 minutes, that this rambling rant. Any chance record any of that? And he was like, yeah, I did. I'm kind of gonna have to make this into a song that's a little bit more palatable.
As her career evolved, so did her perspective. She moved from writing deeply personal confessions to creating entire fictional worlds, especially during the folklore era, where storytelling became less about her life and more about imagination. But no matter how much things change, one thing stays the same. Her curiosity about people. That fascination is what keeps her writing, and it's what connects her to her audience.
I always apply the rule, may the best idea win. I don't care if it came from you, or me. If it's better, that's what goes in the song.
Because at the end of the day, songwriting for Taylor Swift isn't just a career. It's something much smaller, much more personal, like baking or painting. Something she does because she loves it, not because she has to.
There's a difference between art and going and ranting on an Instagram live.
She praises Somber's songwriting and how confessional it is.
And his lyrics are so intensely confessional. I don't like want another man's child to have the eyes of the girl I can't forget? Are you kidding me?
And maybe that's the real secret behind it all. Even after all these years, even after all the success, she's still chasing that same feeling she had at 12 years old.
And I think the more male artists that are messy, the happier I am. But the entertainment industry, I'll tell you, there's 10 years for every year you're in it.
She also confessed how she gets a little frustrated when fans start to point a song about certain person.
Songs about that person, because I'm like, that dude didn't write the song I did. And then you just kind of have to like, there it goes. Hope you like it.
Trying to understand something that might never fully make sense.
Don't go to the notes app and post it. Make art about this. Don't respond to trolls in your comments.
Let me know your favorite thing that Taylor revealed in the video, and I'll talk to you all next time.
And they're like, oh, but you're gonna be so much better. It's gonna be so, no, it's gonna be cooler. You're so much better.